All right. Go ahead, hit it, and then I'll start spamming.
Well, I hit the button, and this is the pre-show for episode 90, season of the Seraph.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Been playing quite a bit the past couple nights, as much as I can, by not killing myself for work the next day or getting a decent amount of sleep. I'm hoping that Fox and Chad are doing almost the same thing here.
I've been hitting it at weird times. I've been hitting it from like 3 to 6 or like 4 to 6. Uh, kind of missing you guys, unfortunately. A lot of trying to put the toothpicks in my eyes to hold it open while I go through the battle heists or whatever they're called.
I actually, I'm
Hey
not.
man, there's some good like not there's some good dialogue in those
Yeah, I'm not.
because of Clovis. Literally only because of Clovis.
The
Clovis
heists,
is going to turn on us, isn't he, Chad?
the heists are okay. I think they're a tad long.
The
They're
good
not.
thing about them though is the you're always 5 light below.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a good mechanic. That's like we've been like that's a mini version of what we've been asking for already with like a let us toggle contest. Let us turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
So having that little mini one is like, ooh, if they can add that here, they can add it to other playlists. They can make like a strike like medium mode where it's like just matchmaking with that tagged onto it.
I would
And
like
just like a
them
little bit extra reward.
to do that with the dungeon on Friday. That like you have like the
Yeah.
normal mode,
Oh yeah.
and then you have like whatever that takes the place of the master. It's the exact same thing. No champion span. You're just 15 under.
Yeah. It's just harder because you're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh yeah.
It is a good sign for modifiers anyway, because that's like a modifier that I like because it just makes the game harder without being something dumb like, oh, everything has double the health or everything's
Yeah.
a champion or everything has shields.
Yeah, I think the next route they could go is like certain enemies take extra damage from certain specials or certain primaries. Like some enemies should just take extra splash damage, so rockets and grenade launchers are better against them, and then some of them just take better.
Yeah, like that
precision
would be
damage.
like the mini guys like thralls and stuff take more like explosive style damage, and then acolytes and stuff take more body shots, and then knights and things because they're armored take more headshot damage. Like all that would make sense lore wise.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you could totally do something like that.
Yeah.
They also just need to bring back kinetic burn because that was great.
Yeah, I guess I mean kinetic burst kind of always a basic version that's always turned on, but
Yeah, but like that's like they had to add it back without it being a modifier. Like,
yeah.
like come on, man.
Any of the you see the new Vanguard weapon for this season?
I saw people saying it wasn't worth going after,
I wouldn't.
but that's about it.
I guess it's not worth like trying to chase this early in the season, but it's just I really like lightweight frames for PVE, and it's the Viced. It's basically a stasis version of why did I just forget the name of it? The void one that we all use during the Witch Queen.
Oh,
Oh, I got you.
oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
know exactly what you're talking about.
It's
The one
just-
everybody chased for like 4 days.
yeah. That's just basically that, just stasis. So
Right on the tip of my tongue, man. That's frustrating. Deviced. It's a void.
Prolonged engagement is the new one.
Oh,
that's a stasis one. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then like I was like, oh my gosh, we got another linear fusion rifle, but at least this one's a tri-burst.
Oh, it is. I
Yeah.
didn't even see that. Then we
Yep.
got another trace to fill out all the flavors.
Dude, like they buff traces like not too long ago, like stability wise, and it felt really good. But I just like I'm not using special for a weapon that feels like a primary.
Yeah, I gotcha. Did you see that? Oh gosh, what is it? So the Wendigo can roll with chain reaction explosive light,
Oh, okay.
and
Oh,
it
I
can
see.
get full court in that last slot.
Yeah.
But you could do full court impulse amplifier, so that grenade's just like, shoo.
Yeah. I thought that maybe that auto loading with explosive light and Izzy might be
Oh, yeah.
back, but I still don't think like
We
it might
don't
be the
make as
best
many
burst
orbs as we used
damage.
to.
But yeah, and that and I don't think like the prolonged DPS phases it will lose out to just straight linear
Yeah.
fusion. Yeah.
Yeah, fire and forget. Yeah, it's a 3-round burst.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Jeez. And this one can get focused fury also. Crazy.
Yeah, you can get chill clip.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. You can get chill clip headstone.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be so fun on like a regular fusion, but you can't get headshots. Like on a oh man, that'd be broken on any other gun except for a linear.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like an auto rifle with chill clip headstone?
No, they'll never put chill clip on a
No,
on a
no.
primary.
Yeah, it has to be on a fusion. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, demo headstone. Well, yeah, no, but it's in a linear. Meh. Oh well.
All right, everybody, about ready?
Yep.
Almost. Yeah.
Second here.
I wanted to look at one last gun, but it's boring.
Did you guys ever figure out the name of that SMG?
Oh, the other one? I didn't even look it up
Nah, I
after I
forgot.
found the new one.
Yeah. Let's see.
Why are you making me look this up?
Type in is void is SMG.
Funnel web.
Yep.
Funnel web. All right.
Gonna be short lore, by the way.
Do I see the new gameplay trailer for Lightfall from the Game Awards?
Yeah. Yeah.
Trash.
That last little scene there with the witness. Woo.
Yep.
Now
It
that
shivered
was
my
the
timbers.
only thing that was interesting out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
The
There's
rest
so
was
much
just
you
like a
can
grappling
glean for
hook.
that.
Being able to
Yeah,
grab a
although-
hook onto your
although they did-
teammates is interesting.
Yeah, the thunder crash. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
That did give me a little chuckle. I was like, "Oh, you can do it. Okay, cool."
Yeah.
Because everyone was talking about, what if you can grapple onto a thunder crash? Yeah, they did it. They did it because everybody was talking about it. So it's good to know it's possible.
All right, getting ready to click the button.
Okay.
Bye.
Ready.
Eyes up, Guardians. We are live for episode 89 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. Today is December the 8th, and I am the Destiny bad boy, NotRyanFox, and I have returned with my fire team, who all of you CCBs know by now. Jared?
Yeah, so we're diving into the season of Seraph and some good weapons to chase. Some, the same seasonal loop, and we're just going to discuss some of that later on.
And the chronicler himself, chadocero.
I can say that I called both Rasputin and Zivu being involved this season, even though I guessed them separately. But lore this week is going to be a little bit light because 2 days into a season is a little hard for me to get something set up. But I'm basically going to outline what's going to be happening for the next couple weeks. But we'll get into that later.
And remember, if you're watching us live on YouTube, don't forget you can take us on the road via Spotify, iTunes, other podcast services. Make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, click the bell, turn on notifications, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod. Send us Spongy friend requests. Sam brought the TWAB this week, the next to last before the end of the year. But before we get into the TWAB, let's listen to the intro music from everybody's favorite Link, who you can find on Twitter at LinkOfTimeG.
All right, everyone. This week of Bungie, we're kicking off season of the Seraph, so they got that trailer again of everything's kind of be going on, kind of with some Clovis and some Rasputin, Anna, Osiris, Queen Mara, a lot of big hitters involved, and of course, Siva Wrath is mounting her forces to come after us and bring war upon our solar system. Along with all those new changes to the season and season storylines to chase, there was many updates to exotics, weapons, abilities, destination materials, deep stone crypt changes, and a PvP overhaul. In the TWAB, there is links to all of those if you want to get caught up or you haven't been up to date, listen to us or been playing the game. So it's all right, but I got to take breaks every now and then, but at least hit play on the podcast in the background, so you might catch up on a little bit of the information. But there's some links if you want to read yourself. The next important thing that's happening in TWAB is some dates. As Fox mentioned, it's the second to last TWAB of the year, so they want to make sure to know when some other stuff is coming out here. So December 13th, that is that Tuesday? It is Tuesday. The Dawning starts. And then next week, the 15th, is the last TWAB of the year. Iron Banner starts on January 3rd. And there's no trials this weekend, but that will be back next weekend starting December 16th. There's a Game to Give updates, Moments of Triumph, merch in the store that you can unlock. I don't know about you all. I think I unlocked a t-shirt just by logging in and clicking all the triumphs I already had done for the most part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The t-shirt looks pretty cool. And the emblem, I've seen a lot of people rocking the emblem already in game. Tomorrow, we get a new dungeon. And if Fox isn't too busy watching Rough and Rowdy, we should all be doing it together. And he should be streaming it. And I think Chad might be streaming along with him. So tune in.
We'll be streaming it. We'll be on twitch.tv/Conqueror's Corner, and then the YouTube as well. I've been having some issues with my streaming, so hopefully I get those hashed out before tomorrow. So I got some weird, laggy, choppy gameplay that's only on the stream, but not anywhere else. So if anybody knows the answer to that, please hit us up on Twitter at DestinyCCPod.
In order to participate in the dungeon tomorrow, you need to be able to purchase the dungeon key for the Witch Queen year, and also done the intro mission for the Witch Queen in order to be able to play the dungeon. As we mentioned last week, there's a crossover with this Assassin's Creed. You can do Leap of Faith, art crossovers, just a lot of different stuff you can do with the ornaments to just show off your destiny. For me, I think I'm not buying a crossover skin this season since I bought the Fortnite Hunter last season. I don't think I can go back-to-back $15 skins.
This one is like $20, isn't it?
Is it $420? Oh my!
I think it's 2,000 silver.
Okay.
Yep.
I looked at it and I was like, man, that is steep even for me. They might have found the price that I have to stop to think about if I'm going to buy it.
Hey man, it's only 400 per piece, dog.
Yeah, that's it. And Chad, didn't you look it up and you said that none of it was coming for Bright Dust?
That's correct. None of it. The Fortnite skin, at least I knew you got the helmets because I was able to get the cat helmet for my warlock. I'm lucky enough that the Fortnite stuff didn't interest me at all. But I'm like, dang it, because I like the Titan armor, but Assassin's Creed 2 has a very special place in my heart, and so the warlock armor is just dope. It's so slick, dude. It looks so good. And I'm like, I wouldn't even shader that. I would just leave it white and red. And maybe because there was like an end game armor that was black and gold. So I'd be like, if I can find that, I would do that. But leaving it white and red, Ezio style, just have a good time. But I'm like, man, at least I play my warlock. Like, at least, I'll raid with him and, have fun. My hunter's all out there in the cold. Sorry, buddy. I love you too. But yeah, 2,000 silver, man. Like, if I can piecemeal it, because I only really want the Warlock chest. And I only really want the Titan chest because it has a shield. But, man, that's a lot.
Also going on tonight is the Game Awards. So if you're tuned into that, there should have been a Lightfall trailer, a little gameplay footage, and some dialogue from Osiris. I guess the coolest thing was that the tether mechanic, you can tether onto your teammates, and I think it was a hunter or warlock tethered into a falling star Thunder Crash Titan and would rode the Thunder Crash with the Titan. So that was pretty cool. And then also seeing the Witness and kind of what the Witness did in the trailer.
Yeah, the Witness stuff was cool because at first it kind of looked like the cutscene we'd already seen before of the Witness, but then it was a little different, kind of like a side profile. But yeah, that was really the only. I was sitting there watching it, and I had it on in like the living room, and my wife was like, "I was wondering why you were watching this," and once she heard that there was a new Destiny Lightfall trailer, so. But yeah, other than that, they had Hideo Kojima on. He showed Death Stranding 2, which looked good. They showed Hades 2, and that was really all that I saw that was interesting in my opinion. But I only saw half the show as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Usually, it's nice whenever like new trailers and stuff come out. For me, I'm really crossing my fingers for some Starfield gameplay, some more of that coming on. But I think they've been really quiet on it, so it's getting me worried. So they're probably going to delay it, which is okay. They delay it past Lightfall, so maybe they.
I mean, listen. The real reason they're being quiet about it is because they're trying to get this Activision Blizzard deal through. So, since it's an exclusive and Sony's fighting them with like the thing, they're trying not to draw attention to a game that they're not bringing to Sony. So
makes sense.
That's why you haven't seen much.
All right, so that kind of does it for the TWAB and what's been going on today. Now I want to bring us into the seasonal loop. And Chad, what do we got going on with the Hive?
Ooh, let's see here. So the Hive God of War is moving to seize control of Rasputin's network of weaponized satellites. So basically, all the work that we put in Season of the Worthy, um, is being used against us, and I'm not happy about it. 'Cause I put in a lot of work, and I don't like it.
Some would say it's.
Um,
Some people would say it's being reused.
hey,
But
hey,
that's not
hey.
me.
You don't have to say what some people would say. You could just leave it at that, man. But yeah, Zivu's back, and she's trying to take control of all of Rasputin's stuff, and we kind of got a taste of it a little bit in that opening mission and stuff with the lasers that like laser lock on you and then just you dead. So we know that she definitely does have some access already.
I thought
She
that
has access to the
was
towers.
I thought that was Rasputin just shooting anything that's getting close to him.
He's not active enough.
Oh, okay.
He still is nothing. Yeah, yeah. So she
He's
has
trying
access
to
enough
break
to
his
activate the
codex
towers.
or whatever.
Yeah, because you can tell, because Zivu was keeping the Hive or the Vex from getting in, but not the Hive. The Hive
Okay.
weren't being shot at all.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly. So it's definitely they're the big bads that she's the big bad that's coming in this season, supposedly. And so our job is basically to work with Clovis and Anna Bray and Osiris, to get Rasputin put all back together like Humpty Dumpty style, and get him up and running. Whether that's putting him in an exo, just simply getting him connected and working again 100%. We do not know. We know that there is the exo body, but Clovis is in it. So I'm like, is there another one, or is he just gonna try to take that one after and boot Clovis off of it? I don't know. It's not even completed. It don't got arms. It don't got legs. Like, what's Rasputin gonna do with that? You know?
Could Clovis end up being like a raid boss or something?
He has too much self preservation to do that. He'll fight only by making others do it for him. He wouldn't want to. He wouldn't want to be.
Could he be like a disciple? You think?
No.
At some point.
No. He's way too self absorbed to do that. Yeah.
Okay. So next step in like the seasonal loop would be doing match made heist battlegrounds. So the first time you play through this is pretty easy. Just like basically just introduction to the season. And after you do that one that's part of the quest, as you go back, you're going to be 5 under light no matter what your light is. Going back into these heists, and it's going to be unstoppable champions and anti-barrier champions at the same time. And basically we're going back into the Braytech facilities and bypassing some the defense system and taking out hordes of Wrathborn. So that's Hive, along with some Scorn, and the Seraph beams will be at your entryway a lot there before you get into start taking out some of the Hive trees. Chad, what are those called again from Season of the Hunt?
It's not. Is it Cryptolith?
Yes, the Cryptolith. Yep, I think you're right there. So you got to take those back out again. So probably 2 of like the lower point seasons that we had was Wrathborn hunts and then the Seraph Towers public event. They kind of like combine those a little bit here.
I forgot that public event. Ooh.
So yeah, it's gonna be overall the heist has been a very high enemy density and a good job of like kind of leveling up your weapons a little bit if you're trying to break up some of them weapon frames.
It's great for bounties, gunsmith bounties, and the hunt bounties, the ones that come from the exo frame and the helm.
Oh yeah, you can do all those in
you
one.
You can crank those out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple seasonal, especially if you pay attention to the seasonal challenges. You have to get like arc and stasis kills in those, and like bow kills. So run like Point of the Stag stuff like that, you can really knock a lot of that out pretty quick. I went from like, I don't know, season pass 2, like I got like 1 rank from the bounties that I had saved over. I went from 2 to 10 in like maybe like 3 hours of gameplay, just doing bounties through that. So it's not too bad.
All right. Next up is Seraph Shield, and what you got to do, you got to gain access to another Braid Tech facility, and of course those the eyes are looking at you and shooting you with the laser. You gotta stay hidden. I did notice the first time I went through with a hunter that if I go invis and cover and then go out while invisible, the lasers don't pick you up, so you can kind of cheese a little bit of those lasers. And then you go in and you're basically saving a part of Rasputin. Am I correct of saying that, Chad?
A sub mind, yeah. So a part of them.
Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to be doing that for a few weeks here. All right. At that same time, we're kind of in the background working towards an exotic Revision 0 that will be available December 20th. So that's in a couple of resets. And then when that comes around, that weapon's going to have multiple different catalysts that you get to slot into the weapon that it looks like we'll probably unlock as we go along in the season progression.
I hope they make some of those hard to get. Like not like grindy to get, like kill, but like just difficult. Like you have to beat it on hard mode by yourself with less than 3 deaths. You know what I mean? Like just that's just off the top of my head. But I wish they would do something like that as opposed to what it's going to be, which is just going to be complete a mission 4 times.
Yeah, I guess my pushback on that was like it's a $10 season and people need to be able to get it done in 3 months, in less than 3 months. So I don't want something.
Yeah, I mean the most you could do is find all the feathers each week. I remember that.
Yeah.
But I guess if it was something that was like based upon, you know, like completing a mission a certain way or with certain weapons, like we could theoretically knock all those out in one night, like the 3 of us. Like if you have a team doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I would just prefer that over the grind that we've had.
Yeah, hopefully they do something different about this one. This one might even end up being craftable too. We don't know yet. Along with the season, they brought back the 4 IQ-less weapons back from Warmind back in year 1 of Destiny 2, and then also 6 new seasonal weapons that you end up being craftable. Also, before we get into likes and dislikes, anything else you want to mention about the seasonal loop? Kind of what we're going to be doing, like the currency you get to open up the chests and the heists. You get it from all over the game, completing dungeons, completing strikes, completing PvP. It can only hold 2,000. Like we're usually raiding Tuesday night, and we completed an encounter. I was like, and I was talking to Chad. I was like, Chad, am I really already at max of these? And he's like, yeah, max is 2,000. So, and a chest takes 500, so you can only keep up 4 chests in total. 4 chest runs.
There's a perk to carry 4 to max it to 4,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of my main gripe is I can't just sit in that playlist because it takes 500 of the resonant stems or whatever they're called to open up the chest. So you have to, it forces you to like kind of bounce around and do playlist activities, then go back, and as opposed to, but you know, we're used to that at this point.
I believe there's also something we have to go around and find that make the classical music sound.
Heck yeah, baby.
What are those called, Chad?
It's the little Warmind chest thingies, the little triangle things. They're back. Mm-hmm. I was stuck at 39 of them still because I never was able to get the 40th, and I'm mad about it. And I was getting flashbacks, and I was. But I haven't gotten a repeat yet, so I think it's once you get 12 of them done, you're just done. Once you pick one up, you can drop it off in the helm. In the little Rasputin area on the right, you can actually drop off each one you pick up. So that definitely narrows it down. It's, but Yeah, those are back. They are guaranteed to give you a Ikelos drop. And so that'll help you unlock the weapons for later for deep sight crafting once you get there. Which is good because there's a lot of fun combos that you can get with the Ikelos guns now. That won't really replace the ones you already have because some of those perk combinations aren't really there, I think. But I can definitely get a hand cannon that's actually worth something. SMG shotgun. The sniper's gonna be there's I think there's a couple new perks that I was curious about, so it'll be fun to get.
That hand cannon never had a great roll on it. I remember you basically
No.
had to run like time payload or something on it, if I recall correctly.
There is one
think,
roll that I really enjoyed. It was the only time I ever used it whenever it was like shields on and a taken, and it was like disruption break with Genesis, and it had like 17 in the mag, and I never had to reload the weapon.
Right.
And that's just because like the acolytes have so many void shields, and that's all. It seems like whenever you go up against taken, there's just like so many acolytes. So, all right,
And
it's
that's true.
yeah. It's time for 3 likes and 3 dislikes. So, for this segment, we talk about a like and a dislike would be going on this week in Destiny. So, this week, my like is going to be the sound team at Bungie. Whatever they're doing it right. And there's some amazing sounds from the weapons this season. The Manticore, which is the exotic that we're going to be talking about, and weapons breakdown sounds amazing. The new pulse rifle that's from the seasonal loop, love it. It's just like they're just doing amazing things, and just good job on their part.
Oh, the sound team's always been awesome.
Yeah, man, they're them and the Skybox team, always good. My like is just having something new to do. I have not been a fan of the last 2 seasons, so I'm hoping this season kind of pulls me back. After all these years, I'm kind of branching out and playing other games and having the desire to play those games over Destiny. So new season, new me.
Oh man. So my like is that Rasputin is best girl. Hopefully we will have him back in a body so I can actually give him a hug, give him a cuddle, and he seems like a big spoon. So that'll be going down. I'm a big Rasputin Siva stan. I've always liked Rasputin, even in D1 when we knew literally nothing except he liked classical music, and I'm like, you know what? That's the kind of guy I'd like to get a glass of wine with. Now for my dislike, it's again too many red borders because we got four Ikelos weapons and then 6 Seraph weapons. Now I'm assuming that there's not going to be anything in the dungeon
And
as
you
far
got
as weapons.
all the weapons from the Deepstone Crypt.
Yeah, I forgot about that. There's oh Jesus. That's too many, man, in a season. Like yeah. I can't even focus on that kind of stuff, dude. Mm-hmm. That's too much. That's too much nonsense.
So this is why I'm going to look at the red border thing. I'm not going to look about counting any of them until about week 8. I think that's probably whenever we get the start focusing them. Except for whenever Deepstone Crypt is the rotator week, I will be going in and farming Atrax. I think that's my only all right, I'm going in and farm. I think it's the only time I'm going to farm like the first half of the season. And the second half, I kind of see how the meta shakes out. Maybe Bungie announces what the nerfs and buffs are going to be for Lightfall, and then know what weapons I need to go chase after.
Wouldn't that first encounter, that one would be a pretty nice one to farm too, I think, because you can do it.
That one gives you the scout.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about picking the weapons because Atrax gives you the shotgun and the sniper.
Correct.
So you you're gonna get those guns, and you're gonna be able to red border them, and those are the two best guns in that raid. The first one gives you the scout and posterity, the hand cannon, right?
Yeah, I
Hand
think
cannon,
posterity.
yeah.
That posterity might take my heart with Volt Shot being in column 3.
Yeah, yeah, it could be very fun.
Yeah.
And then so it's primaries in the first encounter, secondaries in the third encounter. I think a weird mix in the chaos room,
Mm-hmm.
and then heavies on the boss.
Yep.
So sword
Was
and
it,
machine gun.
Can you still get that redirection perk on that scout rifle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They buffed it.
I
too.
never got a good scout rifle. That's like the
But it
one
comes with-
weapon that.
it can get incandescent
got-
though.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah,
You stole my heart. My dislike is it's only it's only been 1 week, but I feel like they're really making old Chad's girl Anna Bray out to be kind of wimpy. All she cares about is letting him make up his own decisions in mind. And like I feel like they're talking bad about her, trying to make us think that she is I don't know, man. I don't know if it's where I'm like a girl dad now, but whenever people start talking bad about women, it really kind of bothers me at this point. So I do have like a 5-year-old daughter. So I'm not liking how Clovis is talking about Anna and like specifically the hologram part, like step 8 or step 9 of that seasonal quest. Not a fan.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of what we're meant to feel. We're not meant to like Clovis because he's always he sacrificed the strange. What was the stranger's name? Elsie.
Elsie.
Yeah, he kind of like sacrificed her, right? So like, and
you also have to remember, like, I like Ramsey Bolton and Bowser and Cersei. Like, I like bad people, but like I don't even like. Maybe it's a Clovis dislike as more of like of his actions. Like, I wish that he was a better bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe that would be a better way to phrase.
And we'll talk more about all the things he's done. That way, people that didn't really play in Beyond Light can get much more of a picture. And I'm hoping that they don't know about some of this stuff, so that like they're hearing the dialogue and they're like, "Wow, he's like kind of a jerk." And then they they hear the lore and they're like, "Oh my god, like what the heck, dude? What?" Yeah, he's a crazy person, and I'm excited to talk about him.
My dislike this week is Osiris being so smug for somebody without powers. The only thing he could do
he is quite smug.
And he's been on bed rest, and he's acting like old Charlie's grandfather, just getting up out of bed, jumping and running around the room like he's all that. So
I have a golden ticket.
He did just huff some black tea. So I think Old Man Rivers needs to bring it down a notch before he breaks a hip.
Oh jeez. Oh, it was black tea. Oh man, yeah, he definitely is an interesting character currently because of his smugness. I mean, his sunbracers still have the energy going through him, so I don't know if that's like a feature or it was a light thing, but I guess it's just the way it looks.
You just bought it with silver.
Yeah. He made it an ornament.
That's an ornament.
Yeah. I think. Did you guys listen to the radio at the end of the week?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool where he's kind of like after you die, your work will still be there, but like your work will always be there, but the tea might not, or something was kind of like the gist of it to take.
Mm-hmm. It was very good because he was very humble at that moment because he was smug and I was getting annoyed with him, and then I listened to the radio and I'm like, you know what? He's scared for once. Like he's scared. He has information that he doesn't know how to access, and he found something that might be the key. And he wants to figure it out to save himself and protect the man he loves and protect the people that he cares about. But he can't be in the fight himself, which he's been doing for sheesh, with his extra lives, thousands of years. So it's hard for him to be in that position. But he listening to that radio, you're like, it kind of puts it into his perspective. You can kind of hear it from his side. So it's definitely it definitely toned back the smugness for me a little bit, into more of like a fear kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's he. In the beginning, I'm like, dude, why are you being a jerk? She could punch you and you would die right now. Like,
Listen, and
like, get out of here.
Chad, why hasn't Ikora been around to like since he's awake? Why hasn't she just showed up, or even her voice, or something?
The Hidden are supposedly doing something. I know that they're keeping an eye on Savathun's body for sure. They have a lot of resources on that. But I don't know why Ikora hasn't been involved since Witch Queen. Like, it was literally Witch Queen because we were working with the Hidden.
I mean,
and it hasn't been anything since then.
it was the Zavala fallout, right? Because like in the middle of Witch Queen campaign, Zavala kind of takes over for Ikora because she wasn't giving Zavala the information that he wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
course,
there was a
Zavala's
little
fault.
bit of she kind of worked with Eris a little bit in Season of the Haunted. But she ran into Cade as her nightmare, and she's like, you know what? I'm out of here. If I stay here and Cade is following me, I'm gonna blow up the Leviathan. So I'm leaving. So she left. And that was literally one little lore blurb that happened in one lore thing. So we know she was there, but she didn't do anything else.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think if my like mentor, like the person that I looked up to, the vanguard prior to me, like wakes up after everything, I feel like I would made an appearance in the first week of it happening.
Yeah, I sure hope whatever happens with Ikora is we get some voice lines or some cut videos of what the hell she's been up to, because it's for many reasons. For somebody that was like such a huge character, like all through Destiny's, lifespan, and all of a sudden last few years,
Yeah.
just
And then she was even like the main character of like the limited edition, like the special edition stuff. Remember, it was like her being like a very powerful guardian and like all that. And then now, like, she's just, who cares? She's just not even around. She's there to buy your grenades if you missed a season on a subclass.
Well, like in Witch Queen, she was very involved, and then she ripped open that door for us to get to Savathun with a like, she cast a Nova Bomb, and then she casts a Chaos Reach back to back to rip open a door, and just holding it, and lets us through. So like she's a tough character, but then she just poof gone again, and she's just kind of there. It's sad.
Dark Haze, maybe they're going to kill her off next because she just hasn't been around.
Don't you talk like that, Dark Haze. They did already kill off her actual voice actor, right? Wasn't that a story or something that happened?
Oh no.
Not like literally kill her off, but she's no longer with us, right?
She just got too busy for video games.
Yeah. Yeah, she got too busy for that like 5-hour recording session that they needed her voice lines for.
Yeah. All right. Next up is weapons breakdown. And this time we're just breaking down the seasonal weapon, the Mana Core, and it's a Void 900 RPM SMG. And it compares very close to Adaptive Frame. That's what that's going to feel like. Has a zoom of 15, and some pretty good stacks to go along with it. Probably going to be one of your best feeling energy SMGs besides Teraba, because Teraba has a 16 zoom, so it's going to be just behind it. So what's fancy about it? Dealing damage while grounded, charges anti-grav repulsion, and then dealing damage while airborne extends anti-grav repulsors. So what that is, whenever you jump up in the air and you start shooting someone, the gun kind of flares out and makes you hover. So along with Soaring Fang, that's what that perk was. We have Swooping Talons, where dealing damage while airborne increases this weapon's damage output. So I think in PvP you're looking at maybe about a 10% damage buff there. I've
How
used this
how many
weapon.
kills do you have to get? Like 2 kills or 3 kills to get the 5 bars filled up? Do you know?
Oh yeah, I don't know about. I think it's about how much
Surely
damage
it's
you.
not more than
It's
that.
about how much damage you put in, not just how many kills.
Okay. It just doesn't matter about kills. Okay.
Hmm.
I haven't touched Crucible in like literally probably 10 or 12 weeks. so so I'm way behind in that
Um,
regard.
I did use this quite a bit. I did do 7 games of comp with pain and suffering, but I was using this because I wanted to trying to get progress of just finishing playlist activities with this weapon to get the catalyst done. Um, the best use I found for it is pairing it with a sniper, and whenever you see shotgun rushers coming at you, and you have a little bit of anti-grav charged up, you jump in the air as they make the corner charging at you. You jump high enough in the air, you're out of the one-shot distance, and you're just melting them with the SMG and hovering in air. And I wouldn't say taking to the air off the bat. It's good with this. Get a kill or two on the ground, and then try to bait a corner in the air, not open up an engagement in the air. Chad, have you played with it any? How do you like it?
I definitely played with it a little bit. Again, too, just like you, to get pushing through the catalyst there, so I could get into it. Um, and it's definitely interesting because I mostly used it in PVE, so you can very quickly get the full repulsor bar going, and then run around, get to another area full of enemies, and just jump and just start laying in fire. Because that second, the swooping talons perk, where dealing damage while airborne increases its damage output. So it's like a weird rampage thing where not even kills, just like its previous perk, it's dealing damage. So if you're shooting things, your damage ramps up.
Yeah.
You don't even have to kill it. It's just dealing damage, ramps it up. And so it's definitely a fun gun. It's not anything super crazy or super broken. It's a niche idea. Just raining fire from above with an SMG. It's a fun time. I wouldn't use it on anything end gamey. But I'm enjoying it. It's a fun weird thing, and I like fun weird stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. You tack on the extra AE buff on your artifact that you can get on, put it onto your helmet for an extra 15 AE. This gun comes standard with 30 AE, so yeah, that together gets you to 45, and maybe you use an exotic that helps you out a little bit more. So it's a decent AE out of the box, and you can definitely ramp it up to be a bit better. I don't see this weapon becoming meta anytime soon. As Chad mentioned, it is it's pronounced niche, so it's just gonna be fun to play with. All right, next up is Gambling Corner, and we got a dungeon tomorrow. So Fox, are we gonna be doing anything with that?
Yeah. So I are we gonna so here's the important thing. None of us got to touch a malice. So does that carry over?
Just keeps carrying.
Just keep it
All right.
going.
So that's still a 2,000 ante to the winner of the first person. Jared and Chad tied at 12K apiece last season. So round of applause to them. Congratulations. You guys finally got to win Gambling Corner. So I'm now 2-1.
It's just
or maybe 3-1 since we started Gambling Corner. But what we're going to do, we're going
check
to
the
do
tapes on that.
guesses. We can check them. The whoever, it's going to be another 2,000 ante, and it's going to be who guesses the time closest. You are allowed to go over. Who guesses the time closest of completion?
Okay, Chad, why don't you go ahead and lead us off with your guess then, since you're one of the coat winners.
Oh my goodness. Jeez. I know we're good on dungeons because Jared and I are there, and Ryan's good at backing us up.
Not sure what that means, but okay.
That means I'll do the puzzle stuff. Jared keeps us alive, and you also help keep me alive. That's what I
help.
mean. Because I'm over there like, what's this? And then I die, and I'm like, oops. Okay. I'm trying to remember how long duality took us, and it wasn't that bad. I'm gonna say 3.5 hours.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna say
I'm
an hour and 53.
So Jared says an hour 53. Chad says what?
3.5.
3:45. He said 3:45, right?
No, 3:30, 3.5, so 3:30.
Okay. So I'm going to take like 2 minutes or 2 hours and 37 minutes.
You said 2 hours and 37.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say 2:45, but Jared saying an hour 53. I want to move it a couple minutes the other way just to cut some of his win time off.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely gonna be wrong on this one. Hopefully, I don't want it to take that long.
Yes, hopefully.
I sure have.
I'm hoping
you
Jared
hope so.
wins 100%.
Yeah. And full disclosure, we do go into these completely blind. We won't be on till the evening. So if you want to watch our blind run, you can check us out on the YouTube channel that you're watching now. I will also be attempting to stream on twitch.tv/Conqueror's Corner. I've been having some OBS issues, as mentioned previously, but we do not watch other runs before we get on. It's a complete blind run because there are only like realistically, there are like 4 Destiny days a year to get excited about. It's like new expansion, first raid of like the raid of the new expansion, and then like the 2 dungeons. Those are kind of like our 4 most exciting days. So I don't care to know how to do the puzzle by watching like the people that do it right as it starts. You know, unfortunately, these things drop on Fridays. We all work, so we can't really get on to do it until after we're all home from work. So saying that, we have a Touch of Malice. Jared, where are you at on Touch of Malice? Are you at 50 yet?
No, I'm at 0 for 46.
Okay. I knew you were close.
Yeah.
I'm at like 0 for 20 probably
20?
because I don't have as many runs. I maybe slightly more than 20, but
No,
I'm not
definitely
near as
more.
high as Jared.
Yeah, I crossed 40.
So, oh my gosh.
because I've only
combined-
missed like five.
Yeah,
more.
I think we're 0 for 100. I think we're over 100 combined. Yeah. This is what Chad wants.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to remember that. This is what he wants.
It is, yeah. I want them to feel my pain, and so far
Yeah.
they're in it. Yeah, crossing
Yeah.
that 40 mark is where it just goes. It just drops very fast into being like, I'm just mad. Like, I'm just angry.
No,
over
I'm
it.
almost at the point I just don't care. That's about where I'm at, and I'm going
Yeah,
to
there's
quit.
an acceptance point
So-
too.
So this
And then
was
when somebody else
almost
gets it,
right. And dude, that's the messed up part about it is, as many times as we've ran it, I've only seen it drop like 2 or 3 times.
yeah,
Like it's not like everybody has it except for us. Like there.
yeah.
I-
Literally, in
multiple
our group,
people.
it's only Shifty and Zen.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few others get it, and I feel like, Redface. What is it? Redface on the Avengers when they lead him to the Soul Stone. It's Redface, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, man.
Yeah, I feel like him.
Yeah.
Like he can lead
Yeah,
people
right.
to the treasure he cannot get. You know, as the meme. I feel that a lot. I think I've hit double digits now of people witness getting touch, and most of the time it's just
Yeah.
people typing in game chat that they got it because Oris can be done with no comms for PC anyways because it's easier to type in chat. But yeah,
Listen, but before I know you're about to take us to war, but I have to say, running this raid as much as I have, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this raid sucks in Destiny 2. It is not fun. It is a lot a whole lot of just like I like the Golgoroth fight. The War Priest fight isn't bad if you have a team that isn't like full dummy, but like the last two encounters are a nightmare in my opinion. And like the beginning of it, like the opening encounter, the jump puzzle, and the totem sucks. Then you have like two encounters that aren't too bad between the War Priest and Golgoroth. And then the end of it is not fun either. At least that's my experience. What do you guys think? Is this the other than Vault of Glass, is this the worst raid in Destiny 2 right now?
I just want to recall back to whenever we graded this raid, and you
Oh,
all praised it.
I agree. I did. It must have been the nostalgia or like the difference between the Destiny 1 and the Destiny 2 like metas and engines. Like this was my favorite raid of all the Destiny 1 raids, and it is a drag in Destiny 2.
Yeah, I think it's.
I
Go ahead.
I still think it's good, but it definitely has rose tinted glasses on it.
Yeah.
And the main reason I think it's good is because it is very easy to teach. Because it's like a stand here and jump on this sometimes. The only problem is when people are scared of mechanics. It's like don't be scared. Just jump on a thing. It's easy. Just jump on a thing. It's like, well, I'm just here to shoot stuff. It's like you can't be. You're in a raid. You're here to shoot. You're here to do jump on a thing. And one of my favorite things is that like I would run with a guy, and he'd always be like, "Hey, we're gonna do the cheese on the War Piece." I'm like, "Dude, the plays are so easy. You don't even have to do it. Like I'll do it."
Yeah.
And well, it's just easier if we cheese it. I'm like, no, it's not.
They
It's
patched
easier
that,
if we
by the
do
way.
it. And then they patched it. Because I'd always make
Didn't
fun of
even
them
know there
for it.
was
I'm
a
like,
cheese.
Yeah. Well, it's like everybody jumps on the plate at the same time and it auto completes it. But
Yeah.
I know it's like it's not hard.
not hard.
It's really not hard. But yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, it's a good for teaching. If we could start at totems, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because the first 35 minutes of it is nonsense. And I will always think that.
I finally had a bad LFG experience with King's Fall. I was like, that was the
I'm
last
so
week
proud of you.
of the last season. Like, we just trying to do the opening encounter, and people just didn't open doors and kept dying. And we probably did that for 20 minutes. I was like, all right, this isn't the crew, guys. I'm sorry. I have to leave. This isn't the crew.
Not going to be able to do
I
it.
was like, we can't do this simple opening encounter. I was like, how are we going to do the rest of it? So.
Listen, I have to say that the opening encounter might be the most difficult part of that raid, though. As far as like getting a clean run where you're not like having to wait for the bomb to go off and then go grab it again and run through to do a full clean run. That first encounter is the hardest part of that raid.
Yeah, I guess so. I kind of understand that. I believe you.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna skip half baked takes. Give me like a week or two. I'll come up with something for that. So Chad, what kind of lore you got for us this week, my man?
All right. Like I said, in the beginning, the first TWAB, the first Thursday of the season is a little bit harder for me because I've only had 2 days in the season to kind of figure out what I need to talk about. But I'm going to kind of give us a lowdown on what we're doing, a general quick background on 3 major players this season, Xivu Arath, Rasputin, Clovis Bray. I'm going to talk more about Xivu because there's not a lot that we know about Xivu, so I can give all the information we have so far. And then Rasputin and Clovis. But in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be deep diving into Rasputin and Clovis separately. Going obviously more deep onto Clovis because we have a lot of lore about him because of Beyond Light and because there was a raid in his zone, and that was all about him. So there's a lot of stuff about Clovis, a lot of things that we can talk about. So that's probably going to be like a whole 2 separate things that I can go into, 2 or 3. It could legitimately be 3 separate things. But first of all, for Xivu Arath, the big bad of the season. We know that she is the Hive God of War. We know now that she was tricked into becoming the Hive God by the Witness with Savathun and Oryx. So she's been kind of like a chess piece for the Witness. So even though she's considered the God of War, she isn't as big of a major player as we had initially thought. She still is a big player. I believe she's probably a disciple or something above that. Rolk status, Savathun status, because Savathun was a wannabe disciple before she betrayed him. And Callus is also there. But we didn't get a big look into Xivu besides some stuff in the Books of Sorrow. But with this past year, we've gotten a good look. With starting with Season of the Hunt, we know that through the Cryptolith, Xivu is able to exert her presence into whichever system or planet or celestial body she's on to kind of corrupt and take control of beings in the general area. She's taken control of Cabal through that way. This season, we noticed that she's taken control of Fallen. There's Fallen that are taken control of by Xivu. So it's her corruption can spread quite quickly. And the biggest show of that we have is when she took control of Kaido's, I think one of Kaido's closest confidants, corrupted her and then made Kaido kill her, which was the sacrifice needed to start the war with the Hive. And she invaded full force and just scorching earth destroyed Torabottle and made the entire empire of the Cabal flee to the Soul System. That is when she came to us. Kaido's like, look, I got this lady. She's following me, and we need to team up and kill her. And after we kicked her butt, made her kneel and be like, respect me, she agreed to join us instead of trying to make us submit. So she moves into the soul. Xivu moves into the Soul System. We find the Cryptoliths. We start taking stuff out, and she kind of moves into the background a little bit. Still there, still doing a little bit of stuff, but the Cryptoliths were the last major thing that happened with Xivu. And then in Witch Queen, we get a picture of her, so we know her character model's like, it's very much like the War Priest style, which is really cool. And then now we know the Cryptoliths are back, and her forces are trying to take over Rasputin again. Rasputin's being attacked by the Hive again. It happens a lot. It's always the Hive, sometimes the Vex, but always the Hive. And I don't know why it's Hive. It should be Vex, but they're there. So that's all the stuff we know about Xivu so far. Now, Rasputin is a Warmind that was created by Clovis Bray. Warmind being a super incredibly intelligent artificial intelligence. So smart that he had to create subminds of little parts of his personality that could actually help protect the entire system without reducing his abilities very much at all. So he creates the subminds, Charlemagne, the two that we saved this week on Tuesday, and a couple of other things that we've done. But we know that through season 2, I think it Warmind season 2 of Vanilla D2. We go to Mars to where he's actually located, his actual physical whole computer presence. And we help protect him from the Hive again. And we meet Anna Bray for the first time, help protect him, defend him, and she says, hey, thanks for the help, and waves us off. And so later we come back, and in Season of Arrivals, Season of the Worthy, we help reactivate the Warsat network throughout the entire Soul System so that he has eyes on every single corner of our solar system again in order to help defend us. I put that in quotes because of Vuvuzela not believing that was the case. Of course, I'll get it more into that. But then in Season of Arrivals, he gets a big boo-boo and he turns off. But before he turns off, Anna Bray puts him in an engram and takes him off-world before Mars gets zooped out of existence. Now moving on to Clovis, we didn't know a lot about him. in D1, we knew that he was the creator of the Clovis Bray Institute. We found all of his buildings on Mars. That entire city area is basically all Clovis. It is all Clovis scientific area, the entire city. And then we that's all basically we know about him. We know that he's done some stuff. There's a little bit of lore leading up to Beyond Light where we see that he was involved with exos. He was involved with some stuff. There were a couple scientists that talk about him in the lore a little bit, but not very much. They do tell us he's a crazy, but 17 people saying someone's a crazy person, that's not enough for me to make my opinion. So in Beyond Light, we run into on Europa and we find in another whole scientific city made by Clovis Bray. But this time, he's still there. That is like the major hub of stuff for Clovis. And we end up through the raid finding the Deepstone Crypt, which is the birthplace of the Exos. And we find the dark secret that he is using the darkness in order to refine the Vex fluid to create Exos. So we know that the Exos are made through darkness refinements of the Vex mind fluid. And that's the way he was able to successfully create Exos. So all the Exos have Vex milk in them that has been refined through darkness powers. And that was a big revelation. We'll talk a little bit more about it. Again, like I said, probably in 2 weeks is when I'm going to start going deep diving into Clovis. But through that, we find his diaries and his journals and lots of lore that we read, and I finally make my decision that he is indeed a crazy person and a horrible pops. And I wish he was my pops. I probably would have ended up doing something a little crazy too. But he is the book definition of a narcissistic mad scientist. Not one to rule the world, but his whole obsession was becoming literally, he wants to, in future generations of humanity, be looked at as Adam, as a actual living, true Adam, like from the Bible Adam. Because right now we have that, it's like, oh, that's a story. We have Adam and Eve are the beginning of humanity, and he's like, no, I'm gonna literally become the Adam for humanity moving forward, and that's his whole point of being. And it's crazy, man. The stuff that he does in order to fulfill that dream. We'll get into it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But, he is the father of Anna Bray, and we find out that the stranger is Elsie Bray, and we hear her story, and I'll go a little bit into that too. But she's a side character. I don't think she's a side character for this story, but for the Clovis's story, she is on the side. But there's a lot to talk about with Clovis. A whole lot of nonsense to talk about with Clovis. I'll narrow it down to only 30-40 minutes of talking points. I could legit do a full 5 podcasts just talking about him because he has so much nonsense to talk about. But yeah, we're gonna get into Rasputin next week, and then after that, it's probably gonna be two weeks of Clovis. That'll give the season more time to kind of roll on and give us more talking points down the line. But for now, those are like a good amount of background information on these characters that hopefully you knew a little bit about, or I've enlightened you a little bit more, and are more curious and are looking forward to what's going to be happening over the next couple weeks here.
There is the lore and the little few weeks leading up here. I think the Clovis Bray and the Warmind stuff is going to be a good lore season. I think. I can't wait for Chad to bring us along on that ride. All right, next is the mailbag. All right, first question here. How do you all feel about Joe Groth's tweet thread about the season feedback and moving forward? So if you didn't see it, Joe Blackburn tweeted out. He just wanted to step in and say, it's heard loud and clear on the feedback with the current seasonal backbone. The team is excited to put some more creative risk in seasonal progressions, but there is some time before the feedback catches up with the dev cycle. So coming up as Lightfall is in season 20, and that's what they're basically are in the middle of working now, and they're shaking things up and seasonal pursuit moving forward. So Season 21 is being halfway developed at this time, and they're looking at ways that they can differentiate the progression of the season, and so finally, they're hardening up their plans for 2023 to make these improvements, and they're going to make more risks in seasons moving forward. So season 22, I guess, looks like we're going to see the first big season change with the feedback we kind of been giving. Season
can I take this one?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
please.
This is exactly what I wanted. I am fine with this. They are telling us, hey, we hear that the season stuff is getting old, which we have been saying for literally multiple seasons at this point. This guy is the head of Destiny 2, if I recall correctly, because what's his name moved up to like the head of overall Destiny, Luke Smith. And Joe Blackburn is over Destiny 2 currently. I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty confident that's the case. But he's basically saying, hey, we're hearing you guys, but here's the deal. We're like 2.5 seasons ahead. So it's going to please give us a little bit of time to make some changes because this other stuff's already done. So we can't go back and start adjusting that. But here's when you can expect it. And dude, that's fine. Like, this is exactly the communication that I want and honestly expect from Bungie. They're not just tiding us over with TWABs. This is the head guy coming out, dropping his nuts, putting his neck on the line and saying, this is when you can expect to see changes. Don't expect anything before this, which is fine. This is fine. I am very, very happy with this like 5 or 6 tweet thread that he has out. This is exactly what I want.
Yeah. Joe's pretty good whenever he goes to finally speak on an issue. I don't know what kind of buy off he tries to get, or if he has to get any from like PR or whoever.
Right.
But like, whatever he goes to speak is usually pretty important, and he's usually pretty clear. He don't muddy the water. He's pretty cut and dry when it comes to what to say. All right, Chad, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely. Brian's been the most vocal about it, but the only reason I slowed down on it is simply because the lore picked up on quality quite a bit over the last. Definitely the last year, a little bit into last year. I think halfway through the year, the seasons, all of a sudden the lore got very deep, and so I backed off only a little bit because of that fact. I agree with Ryan on all the points for the seasonal loop being too slow, being lame, power leveling being overdone and unnecessary at this point. It's like we're grinding light levels. I'm in this season. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm just going to do pinnacles. I don't care about efficiency anymore. And I'm the efficiency guy. I'm like, I'm just going to do stuff. I don't care. I really don't care. I know I'm going to get to the high enough level to get Grandmasters. And that's all I'm worried about. And like literally last season, I was 3 weeks before Grandmasters and I was there. And I didn't have to care about anything after that. So I'm not worried. And I'm like, if I miss a character this week, I don't care. I'm good. I'm totally good. And that's not the point I want to be at when I want to play this game. And that's just the seasonal. Like, I want to play the content, but I don't want to do the leveling. I don't care about the leveling. I know the leveling is going to happen on the side. I'm not going to rush to push it. And that's been my biggest gripe with it. So hearing news about it, hearing someone like that actually verbalizing the complaints that we have and saying we agree and we're working on it for this particular season, and saying like, look, this is too soon. This was already in the works, but the one after that, we are looking at what we're doing and we're trying to make changes happen. And actually giving a time frame, being more transparent, and that's great. That's good to hear.
Season 22. 22 is a great number. All right.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22, baby. There's some T Swift for you guys.
R.I.P. Hefty Lefty. All right. Question 2. The Lightfall trailer though. What are your thoughts? And that's from Cousin Cody. Says the Lightfall trailer that dropped tonight during the Game Awards.
Meh. I thought it was kind of trash. I thought the only cool thing was the witness part at the end. The rest just looked like a typical Tuesday of Guardians jumping off a ledge and all shooting a weapon and landing at the same time. And this, we did get to see some of the Strand abilities. They did kind of focus on some of that and showing like it kind of seemed like, whenever you cast your super and they do like their animation or whatever, it kind of seemed like they slow mode the 3 animations for casting the Strand super and drug those out over like 10 or 15 seconds. Like really zoomed in on the Titan with his like twirly, his like saw fist or whatever.
Those are bugles.
Coming through.
Those
Yeah,
are green
yeah, there we
bugles.
go. There we go. The green bugle fists coming through. So I don't know, man. I've also at this point, like I've seen what Bungie can do as far as like fire ass trailers that they can put out. This wasn't it. I don't think this was way down on the hype machine for Bungie, in my opinion.
It was definitely something they just put together for the event that's going on.
Oh yeah.
And like Ryan said, they showed stuff we've already seen before. The only 2 things I liked was watching them hook onto a thunder crash and the witness scene at the end. Super cool. I'm going to try to find a good shot to make into a wallpaper for that because that was awesome.
Yeah, you can tell for whatever reason, like they really like Jeff Keighley, who's the dude that puts on the Game Awards, because they give him something every year that's like on there. So for whatever reason, man, like I don't know if it's Joe or Luke or Pete Parsons or whoever, but somebody has a really good relationship with old Jeff Keighley because they always give him something to put in these Game Awards.
Speaking of wallpapers, they put out a few good ones on the website for this season launch, and I just updated mine. So took the pirate ship away into a really nice like sunset or sunrise. I'm not sure which. I think it's the sunrise of the last city. It's pretty cool. All right. Question 3. We ever getting the Hunter Vanguard? Man, a good season to end with somebody getting the Hunter Vanguard would be this one heading into Lightfall, just to have that extra general if we're actually going to war with Seaver Wrath and the Witness,
Chad, could it be Anna Bray? Is she a hunter?
She's very
Because,
close with
I was kind of
Zavala.
thinking because we have like the Drifter and Eris, like the Dark Vanguard and the Light Vanguard or whatever, So to complete that triumvirate, and Anna's in there, could it be that they are teasing it to where she might end up the Hunter Vanguard?
I mean, it's definitely possible. Like I've said before, and I have stated it, Crow seems more like a speaker kind of person to me than a Hunter Vanguard.
Who does?
Because of the fact that Crow.
Oh, the Crow. Okay.
Because he actually speaks and hears from the Traveler. The speaker admitted at the beginning of D2 Vanilla that he speaks for the Traveler, but he doesn't speak to the Traveler. So he admitted very openly that he doesn't hear anything from the Traveler. He doesn't hear anything at all. He just makes gut decisions based on his humanity and speaks for the Traveler in that way. But Crow is actually connected to the Traveler in a way that nobody else really is. So he would make more of a speaker position, and having Anna be the main person up front this season as a hunter is much more likely. I would believe that because like I also said, she is close to Zavala, so she would be a good foil for him too, as well as Ikora.
Yeah, I think Anna is the best player as of right now, but she's just so powerful and she's so hands-on to get stuff done with like Rasputin and stuff. Like, I just don't think she'd be good cooped up in the tower and
That's
doing
all
the,
hunters.
Yeah,
That's all of them.
Sure.
That's in the lore. That's the problem with the Hunter Vanguard, is they all want to be out there actually getting work done, and so they just do it. Unlike Zavala and Ikora, who go responsibility, the Hunter's like, I'm gonna go out there and do stuff, and they actually go do it.
All right. Question 4: rank the dungeons that have been that has been released in Destiny 2 so far.
Ooh.
So that is before the dungeon we are getting tomorrow. If you are been in the API looking at stuff, you can see what the theme is. I don't know if we
You can
want to
also
say
see
or
the
not.
3 armor sets. I've seen the 3 armor
Yeah.
sets.
Yeah.
I
as
haven't
well,
yet.
floating
I
around.
haven't yet,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
Man, I might copy paste the picture and just put a spoiler tag over it, so you have to sit there and decide not to click spoiler.
I'm definitely gonna do it tomorrow for sure.
I mean,
because like the dungeon armor and weapons is
Yeah.
fine. I don't care about being spoiled for that. It's the
Yeah.
mechanics. It's learning it is more fun for me than the other thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
even like Duality gave us Hake armor, and it had nothing to do with the dungeon. So
At all,
that's
yeah.
basically your hint, Chad.
Yeah, but like this season the ornaments are viced.
It's not Vice.
Like the ornaments are vice related. No, I'm saying like the
Oh.
ornaments from the season pass.
Yeah.
Because they're like the
Okay.
black and green, they're the vice like styling.
Mm.
So I'm like, really?
Mhm.
I love Amalon. I love Tex Mechanica's dope. So if it's a foundry, I'm like, that's fine. I like the foundries that are left, so we're good.
Mhm.
Hake was the one I didn't like out of all of them. So
Well, we'll see who gets the
Yeah.
last word in the dungeon tomorrow. All right. Number 4, rank the dungeons that have. So we'll go rank them. So it's Shadow Throne, Duality, Pit of Heresy, Prophecy, and Grasp of Avarice. 5 of them so far.
all right. Jeez.
Are we going to try to come up with a list together, or is this like personal list?
However, we can do one together.
All right, we'll do a group list. So we'll have a little bit of debate to it. So, what is the worst dungeon? Which one?
Duality.
You really think Duality is the
What?
worst?
What? I was gonna say
Think so.
Goonies. I like the Fallen, but like, man, it's an easy one, and it's I think out of all the dungeons, it's the slowest one, or the lowest one for me is.
Is it
definitely-
it's the bomb encounter, right? Where you shoot them up at the
It's
jump from platform to
horrible.
platform.
It's
Yeah,
horrible. Oh my god.
and then just like the complete meat sponges of mini bosses in the boss room too.
It's
Yeah.
unnecessary.
I think okay. I am for Grasp being the worst. Are you okay with that, Fox?
I can live with that.
All right. All right. Second the worst. So what was your worst, Fox? That you said Duality.
Yeah, man, I thought Duality
So-
was
so what
just
is-
because there were a lot of bugs. I
Yeah.
hated the last encounter. I think there should have been more time on Keitel, like for those damage phases. Like the window was tight, which wasn't super fun. I guess basically I really like Shattered Throne. I thought Prophecy was pretty fun. What was and then
Pit of
which one
Heresy
are we?
on
We
the
got
mid.
Shattered Throne, Duality, Grass, Pit. I could live with Pit or Duality as the second worst.
Oh man.
I
I
mean,
can't say Pit. I got lost in there.
yeah, I really think Pit is the second worst dungeon, mainly because of loot. What are we getting? What are we going there
it's
in there to
a trash
get?
dungeon.
Yeah,
There's
was it
nothing. There's
Premonition
nothing.
or whatever? That
The
pulse
Premonition
rifle
is
or
literally
whatever.
the only, because it's the only void pulse that you can get currently.
Not no
I
more.
think there might be 2. Because you couldn't get the Spicer one anymore after a certain point.
The witchful weapon
So-
this season is void. It's a void pulse.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right, so then
Yeah, fine.
and then I'm okay with duality being third then at this point because
Okay.
of the bugs, because the
Okay.
bugs that went on for so long really did put a damper on it. Now weapons wise, I really enjoy the weapons out of duality.
Definitely.
All right, so that leaves us prophecy and shadow throne for places 1 and 2.
I'm probably rose tinted glasses for Shattered Throne.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
It was
100%.
that. It was that.
Shattered
it
Throne
was
is
that
my worst
Forsaken.
by far.
Okay, if it's your worst and my best, then where's it at for you, Jared?
Man, so like again, looking back at Shattered Throne, it was like at times like I really started enjoying Destiny 2. Like doing getting into Last Wish, getting into doing the Shadow Throne, and like doing the puzzles and memorizing like symbol locations and stuff. But man, when Prophecy came out, I absolutely loved the dialogue of the dungeon, Rainbow Road. The cube encounter can be a little bit, little bit to be desired
It can
afterwards.
feel
But
like bombs.
yeah, but we had the refugee eyes in the dungeon to go shoot too. So I think Prophecy is deserving of the number 1 spot of like when it came out and at the time, and Shadow Throne being 2.
I can live with that. I can live with that. Chad, why do you dislike Shadow Throne so much?
Let's see. The first encounter is too long by far, and it's the first encounter. Too long. The running all the way from the first encounter to the ogre, if you die, you go all the way back, because I soloed it, so I've had solos. You go all the way back to the first encounter, so you have to run all the way back. If you get booped off by ogres in the ceiling area where you're running across beams, you're all the way back at the beginning. The ogre is the best part of that dungeon. And then getting all the way to the boss is again way too long. And then the boss is way too easy. You can one shot it. That's
Now
one
she's
person. You can, yeah, now she's easy. Back then it was still harder, but as a group of 3 that knew what was going on, it wasn't really an issue. The ogre was still
It was always a one phase. It was always a
Yeah.
one phase. The final boss.
it was a rough one phase in the beginning, but yeah, the ogre was like, okay, you're gonna plant the well, and then I'm gonna dunk, and then we're gonna bubble, and it was timing. Everybody had to do what they were doing exactly, and I'm like that. I like that part a lot. I still like it, and as a solo, it's a fun challenge doing that ogre. But the rest of it is just it feels too much like how I feel about the first part of the Oryx raid. Just too long. Just unnecessarily long. It could have been like in the first section, because there's like there's 7 different things you have to like open each one. It's like, dude, if you just went in and it randomly picked 3 of them and you only have to do 3 every time, that'd be perfect, because it's like you don't know which symbol it is. Each time you run it, it's a different 3. That'd be fine. But you have to activate each and every one of those symbols. It's like, dude, this is 20 minutes of my time I don't want to waste here. But I also did spend a lot of time in there solo. As a group of 3, if you split up, it's not as long, but it's just it's too long.
Chad, you probably think that's way longer than what it actually is. So I'm looking at my fastest times completed on dungeons. So my fastest dungeon is Pit of Heresy at 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Second
easy.
fastest, Prophecy at 22. And then third is Shadow Throne at 23.
Yeah, if you do skips and if you get lucky on the first symbols,
It's not
and
skipping.
as a group of 3,
Yeah.
no, I'm not saying skipping,
Jared's
like
not a
actually like
skipper.
doing a glitch skip. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying if like you go through and you get the timings on everything right, and you're just running and you're just making it all the way through. Shattered Throne can be very quick. But as someone who, because that was my first like solo challenge. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
man, like
Right.
people are soloing this. Let's do it,
Mhm.
bro. Like
Yeah.
I've soloed all of them, and Shattered is by far for solos. Each encounter is way too long. Each running across it just drags. It's
I
horrible.
I don't. I just want to say, like, I'm fine with having Prophecy 1, but there is that big open area where you have to go to like 3 different portions of that area to kill Taken, and then you have the entire Sparrow Rainbow Road that you're going through. That is a lot of travel as well. And that first
Yep.
encounter, once you understand the mechanics, is pretty lame, as is the Shattered Throne first encounter as well. So I'm fine with Prophecy. So as a podcast, Prophecy, Shattered Throne, Duality, Pit, and then Grasp. Was that what we decided?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
I think it's
Not
just
not
like
not too far off my personal list.
that's our list of like, all right, what's the dungeon rotator, and then like, do we really want to go through it or not?
Right. And I have to say, we had a good time running Prophecy that first time.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of like when like we were all playing together pretty heavily and consistently. That was kind of like our first challenge as a group of 3, I want to say, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we did some Grandmasters because that came out season of the Rivals. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
saying it's like the very first thing we did, but it seems
Yeah.
like that might have been the first dungeon
Yeah.
that we did and streamed and
Yep.
all that since the podcast started. All right, question 5. Playing any other games? Man, I've been dab like lightly playing Overwatch 2. I went through like a 2-week stretch where I was playing Call of Duty Warzone, the DMZ portion of that, which is like the JV version of Escape from Tarkov. Played that and had a lot of fun in there. And I've also been playing God of War, not Ragnarok, but the 2018, the one that's on Steam. Ragnarok is PS5 exclusive at the time. God of War is one of my favorite games I've ever played. That DMZ game type is also super fun. If you're interested in hit me up on that. I've been playing with my brother-in-law and one of his buddies, and and a guy I've met through him that is a pretty cool fella as well. So we've been having a lot of fun playing that, but now that Destiny season's in, that's kind of number 1 priority for me.
Switch Sports just got golf, and I haven't got into it yet, but I'm going to be playing it sometime soon. Maybe Sunday or maybe next Sunday. Maybe at a potential holiday party that's coming up. Getting some not Wii Sports, Switch Sports, but yeah.
So golf's on that now, you say, Jared?
Yeah.
I have a Switch here, so for the Festivus party, are you saying I need to buy it so we can maybe get a game in?
Nina has it, so we got like a bunch of Joy-Cons too. So
Okay, I have like four
Jeez.
Joy-Cons, a couple Pro controllers, and everything. So whatever we need,
all right.
let's make it happen.
Oh,
And
by the way, Nina has
I'm not playing anything.
Nina has Festivus wine. Like it actually says Festivus on the wine.
No kidding.
Yep.
I'm trying. Make sure I get a glass of that
Yeah.
whenever that happens.
Yeah.
Save me a glass because I'm sure everybody else will be going for it too.
Yep. I before the season started, because obviously I'm not playing any other games right now. I completed Violet, completed the Pokedex, called it a day, caught some shinies, and then next thing I knew it was 12 a.m. on Monday night, and I'm like, I need to go to work tomorrow.
So have you not done that on Scarlet as well?
No, I haven't yet. I usually do challenge runs on my Scarlet or on the other game. So I'm trying to find a super weak Mon that's going to be really hard to beat the game with alone. And then I'll play it that way.
So I know, man, my mind is blanking on what the Pokemon, the challenge runs. Like I know like the Kaizo runs on Mario. Nuzlocke, is that what they're called
Yeah,
on
there's
the
Nuzlocks, and
on
you
the
could do a
on the
Nuzlocke. It's
Pokemon?
not gonna be randomized in this because I don't have the ROM for it. Um,
Okay.
but the rules, I mean, the rules are simple. If a Pokemon faints, it's fully dead, 100%, and you're only
Right,
allowed to
and
catch the
you
first
can't
thing you
use
see.
items or something, right? And you
Yeah,
have to
well, that's like
capture the
a
first.
house rule. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, the like for Sword and Shield, the second run I did, I beat the game with Cutie Fly, no items, only that one Mon, and that was it. It was
Yeah.
rough. It
Because I
was a
think
fun
you
time.
can get what you can capture like the first Pokemon you encounter from each like route
From each
or
route.
whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But this one
Yeah.
was a solo Mon game. Like I could only
Gotcha.
beat it with that one Mon, and I couldn't let it evolve. Like it couldn't be the next stage. It was stuck in its little baby
Right.
fly form. It was hard.
Smash B to keep it from involving, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap it up. I'm not Ryan Fox, the Destiny bad boy. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Destiny CC Pod, Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff, bells, notifications, yada yada yada. I'm gonna let these other two guys sign off.
Yeah, new dungeons probably like my favorite thing that Bungie puts out in Destiny 2 right now. So, you know, dungeons you can keep running them and keep getting loot. So, you know, you just hit us up. I mean, we can always jump in and do a dungeon clear if you need to get a squad together.
Yeah.
Yep. Dungeons are always Jared and I's favorite time, especially since they added titles to it and triumphs to do it. Hopefully, we'll see the exotic having the same treatment as duality, where completing triumphs will get you more exotic chance, and just going for that title, going for that solo flawless, and just really having a good time with it.